Okay, welcome back. So I always forget to do this, but like, I don't know, I assume everyone just like knows everything about me already, but you saw the title, haha. Those of you who don't know, I studied abroad in high school, but it was like a gap year because I graduated early from high school, and I studied abroad for a year in Japan, and it was dope, and I became fluent in Japanese in a year because Jesus loves me. And then I studied abroad again in college, and one of my subscribers, shout out to Cheshire Cat, aka Taylor, sorry if you don't want your real name, so I don't know your last name, so it's fine. She gave me like so many great ideas, because like I'm running out of ideas for videos because I'm not in Japan, but I should be this coming summer, but like anyway, thanks to her we have a lot of nice videos coming up. Sorry if the lighting's weird, it's a very sunny day and the window's over there, you know. So I'm going to compare studying abroad in high school versus college. So let's get started. And this is like obviously my personal experience, my opinion, and like other programs are going to be different or whatever, but this is a very like baseline. So starting off with the programs, I studied abroad with Rotary Youth Exchange. Every country has Rotary clubs, and I won't get into like what that is, but RYE, Rotary Youth Exchange. Oh my gosh. There's like short term and a long term. I did long term, and I recommend long term because the longer you stay, the more likely it is that you'll become fluent. And I was 17 when I went, and it's okay if you've graduated high school already, as long as you're between the ages of 16 and 18. If you're 16, 17, 18, you can go. For college, I studied abroad for a semester, so like year in high school, semester in college. But you do have the option to extend that semester to a year. So like fall semester and spring semester. I only did fall. So let's get into prices next. So for my year-long Rotary Youth Exchange, I remember it being $3,000, not including like your plane ticket and like fun money, as I call it. Rotary Youth Exchange is definitely the least expensive. When I went on their website, like depending on the country you go to, it could be between $3,000 and $10,000 for the long term. For JCMU, they only work with, like, that's not true. Oh my gosh, it stands for Japan Center for Michigan Universities, and they usually work with students from Michigan universities, but I remember some kids were from like New York and went to university. I'm like, I don't know. But anyway, the price, $11,000 for the semester, and the year was just like double that, $22,000. A year in high school is with RYE is still less expensive than a year in college, but they both have their like pros and cons, and we'll get into that. Transportation, when you get to your host country, as we call it, so Japan was my host country, and like kids coming from foreign countries to the US is their host country. Yeah. So there were a bunch of people waiting for me at the airport. Like, I had a whole entourage. It was like paparazzi. Everyone wanted pictures. I was dead. I had to go to the bathroom so bad. I was so hot. I looked like a hot mess. But I was just like so honored. And not everyone gets like the welcome wagon wheeled out for them. So like I was blessed. God gave me so many good people to welcome me, and like a lot of my host families were there, and like my counselor and some like Rotarians. A Rotarian is like someone who like works for the Rotary Club, but it's not really like working, it's like a volunteer organization. But anyway, I had like a lot of people, and then they rented a bus because I had like a lot of luggage, and they drove me like from the airport to my first host family, and that was a long trip, but I was like in and out of consciousness the whole time because I was jet lagged. And for college, when I was going to JCMU, I had like travel plans before school actually started, so I was like going around Tokyo and stuff, but I had to like pay for my own Shinkansen ticket or bullet train ticket, and it was pretty expensive and like kind of confusing if you haven't done it before, which me and my friends hadn't, and it was like really stressful. I made a video about my troubles on the Shinkansen, and like there were delays and like, oh my gosh. But if you don't do the traveling thing like I did, and they'll pick you up from the airport in the Kansai airport. There'll be a bus, and that's what most people did, but like me and my friends from my college, they, yeah. We actually took a train, then we had to take a taxi from this train station in Hikone to JCMU. And good thing I knew Japanese already, because I was basically like communicating with the taxi driver. I was like, are our bags gonna fit? Because like I have really big bags. Never doing that again. Okay, so next, like lodging. This corset's giving me like, I don't know, palpitations. I had 4 host families, and like depending on your Rotary Club, your situation, you could get anywhere from like 1 to 4, maybe even more host families for the entire time. I know some people had like the same host family for an entire year, but I understand why they have multiple ones, so like they get to share the burden of me. I was good. They liked me okay. And they were all great. Like, amazing. I couldn't have asked for oh, I'm gonna die. Shout out to Oshima, Kumaki, Sekine, and Miyoshi families. Thank you so much. And at JCMU, you can college exchange. You can opt for living in the apartments, or you like the whole time, or you can live with a host family for a couple of months. And I chose the apartments because like I already lived the host family life. I wanted to like see how I was living on my own, so to speak. But JCMU is kind of like an American embassy, I kind of like to call it. Like, it wasn't a part of any like Japanese university or whatever. It was like it's its own like entity. It's like a school for Americans to study Japanese, and like everyone there is American. Well, some of the teachers are Japanese, but and as for like school and grades, for a Rotary Youth Exchange in high school, the grades will most likely not transfer, and like they won't matter at all. Since I'd already graduated high school and I was like going to a Japanese high school, it was mostly for the immersion experience. It wasn't for like academic, I was there to learn Japanese through the immersion method, whatever. And yeah, I did try, okay, to like participate in class, but oh my gosh, the first couple months were rough. Like, I have trouble reading like English speaking professors' handwriting or whatever, and kanji on a whiteboard. I'm like, no. Slowly I was able to like distinguish the characters, but at first I was like, no. If you don't do it as a gap year, like you do it, like you take a year off from your normal high school in America and you come back, you will be held back a year and you'll have to repeat that year. Like, you know what I mean? You'll be held, yeah. So just be prepared for that. Yeah. As for JCMU, the credits do transfer to your college, university, so that's good, but that doesn't necessarily mean you'll have actual Japanese language abilities. And it is quite a lot of credits, actually. That's why I'm able to graduate early from college as well, because, and if you opt for the year, you'll get like a ton of credits, and like, yeah, but, so back to classes, like classes you can take at Japanese high school, stuff that you'll actually like enjoy, are like PE classes, maybe English class, and that's kind of like the only time they really like need you, or like people will like talk to you is English class, cause like and clubs, definitely try and join a club, cause that'll like force you into the immersion, waterboard you into the Japanese immersion, but in a fun way. It's fun. Yeah, and the classes are from Monday through Saturday, but Saturday is like a half day. I have my old schedule here. So a normal day would be at my high school, okay, from like 9 a.m. to like 3:50, something like that. And then Saturday, from 9 to like 1. But there's like a lot of holidays and stuff, and you'll just get Saturdays off sometime, or like random days off during the week, cause like holidays. Yeah, but PE is called taiku. That's when you'll get to like actually like practice speaking, cause like you can't really talk in class, you'll get in trouble. I mean, I did anyway, but it's okay. As for classes at JCMU in college, there's like, you have one Japanese language class, you have one culture class, and then one class that you choose that also has to do with culture. Like there were like economic class, I don't even remember what I chose. But I think it was about like politics in Japan a little bit, yeah. But there's like a lot of options, and then there's different options in the fall versus spring, so that's cool. And you also you can get an internship there while you're there, so that's a good way to kill two birds with one stone. Tweet. The classes are like normal Western American, I don't know, classes, Monday through Friday, and from like 8 to 11, I think. So then you have like the rest of the day to explore. Like the classes start and end really early. I think that was for the language class, which are every day, and I think the culture classes are like maybe twice a week, once a week, yeah, I don't know. And there's like a mandatory JCMU experience class, but that's just, I think that has to do with like field trips and stuff. As for making friends in high school versus college in Japan. So at high school, they were kind of like reluctant at first to make friends with me. But on my first day, I gave everyone candies. They were kind of like, okay, she's cool. But you have to kind of like wait for people to approach you, because I tried like the, hi, I'm Sonia, let's be friends. And they just looked at me like, who are you? And I'm like, okay. But make sure that you look like friendly and approachable, so people will approach you, and like they most likely will, because they're curious and stuff. And they always said this to me. They're like, oh, I want to be friends, but sorry, I can't speak English. And like they said it in Japanese, it's like, it's fine, I'm here to learn Japanese. Like, girl, like, oh, they said that to me almost every day. And it's like, do you understand why I'm here? Do you? I don't think so. But yeah, I made a ton of friends there once people were like, oh, she's chill. She can actually speak Japanese. I didn't for like the first, okay, well, I knew like greetings and whatever, but probably by like the 3rd month I was like picking up speed, and the 6th month I was like, yeah. But it was like up and down every day. At JCMU, it is so hard to make Japanese friends because you're just like surrounded by Americans, and you won't be able to speak with anyone unless you like put yourself out there. And they do have some like community events where like the Japanese community comes to JCMU to interact with the foreigners, you know. Not to be mean or anything, but a lot of them were like kind of strange. Like, they would stare at you. I'm talking like middle-aged men, and it's like, yo, step back, sir. I don't need this. But it's not like they talk to you. They just kind of like, and like some of the events were like mandatory, and you like had to interact with the community. So it's like, and I was upset because like there weren't many events where with like people our age, like college students. But there were a few, like the Halloween party and the Thanksgiving party. That's like nothing. And there was also like a field trip where we could speak with Japanese students, but you're not like seeing them every day. I made one friend. I went on a date with a boy too, but like we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. But you can watch it if you want. Okay. But yeah, this was just my experience. And also, like, talking about clubs again, I knew like that I should join a club, because then you'd be in like that immersive experience thing again. And like a Japanese club, like at one of the local Japanese colleges. The thing is, their term, like their year starts in spring, and I was there for just fall semester, so I was like set on joining this like dance, like hip hop club, but they had already formed a team back in spring, so they wouldn't let me in. And like other clubs were already all like, sorry, haha, we already like yeah, so that was a big oof. I would go in the spring, or if you're rich enough to do the year, then do the year, but definitely go in the spring. So like how I got around in high school versus college, I utilized the trains very much in high school. And like my host family bought me a suica or a teiki, which is like a train pass. It's kind of like a debit card, because you can also use it to like buy things at stores, which is really cool. But you could also, because you can like load it up with cash. And I don't know, they did this thing where they like had my set route from like my station closest to my house and then like to my school, so they put money in there for me for school. But if I like went somewhere else, I had to pay like from my own money, if that makes sense. But yeah, and at JCMU you got a bike, for free, and a helmet. The helmet was mandatory or you would be like kicked out. But it's fine. It's a look. It's cute. But oh my gosh, we biked. Oh boy, did we bike. Activities in high school life, Japan versus, yeah, you already, I hope you're like catching on. I don't have to keep like this. Karaoke, karaoke is fun. I love it so much. And I didn't even know that I could like actually sing till I like went to Japan, and people were like, "You're so good," and I was like, I guess, kind of. But also we would go like shopping, like eat out, go to Starbucks. Oh my gosh, the flavors at Starbucks are so different from America, but it's good. And they have like a new flavor like every like week or month maybe. I need to speed up because my camera's gonna die, so I apologize if I start talking super fast. We also go to like amusement parks or like Ohanami, which is like cherry blossom viewing, or Hanabi taika, like fireworks display. That's like in the summer, and like matsuris, matsuri festivals, purikura, which is like those super high-tech photo booths. So cute. Oh my gosh. The only like, I was pretty free as a high school student, but I also had to like ask permission and like tell my host family. They like never said no to me, so like, yeah. But I would forget. I would like lose track of time sometimes. And, like, my host mom would be, like, waiting to pick me up from school, but I just, like, forgot to tell her that I was hanging out with friends. So, like, that was kind of a burden, and, like, I made her worry sometimes. But, yeah. And then, JCMU, karaoke, of course. Me and my friends stayed out till 5 a.m. We went from, like, 8 p.m. to 5, that was, like, 10 hours of, like, straight singing. But they have, like, this thing called drink bar, which you can like get unlimited drinks and like ice cream. They have soup. They have like, it's crazy. So you could just stay forever. And our voices didn't really get tired. It was crazy. But yeah, we also like biked to different cities. We didn't have to tell anyone like where we were going. We could just like go. We biked to different cities. And like took day trips and like overnight trips to like Kyoto and Osaka by ourselves, and I even stayed at a capsule hotel for the first time. You can watch that if you want. But yeah, definitely a lot more freedom, but not too much more. It's more like you don't have to like tell anyone where you're going, what you're doing. But that's also very nice. And like you also have to grocery shop by yourself. Like I enjoy that. Made me feel like an adult. So, I feel like my camera's gonna die any minute now. I only have 1 minute left, you guys. I'm not gonna be able to fit this all in. I'm gonna have to go to my phone real soon. But, so like, responsibilities. Oh yeah, let's get into that. So as a Rotary Youth Exchange student, you have responsibilities. You're representing your God and country if you're from America. Yeah. I'm not going to get into some of the other students when they would, like, break the rules, and I was so, like, I cannot believe what I am hearing. But I was a good girl. I followed the rules. I couldn't even break the rules if I tried, and sometimes I tried, but, like, I couldn't. But it wasn't even bad. It was, like, me wanting to go to an all-boys high school festival, but not telling my host family that it was an all-boys high school, because like my friends were being really weird. They were like, oh, maybe like you shouldn't tell them it's an all-boys high school, and I'm like, why not? Like, what's the problem? It's open to the public. But when I told my host family, I was like, I'm going to Takasaki High School Festival, is that okay? And she's like, oh, that's the one where it's all boys, right? Yeah, cool, have fun. And I was like, okay. So yeah. Anyway, responsibilities. speeches, meetings, parties, and field trips. I had to make a speech every month. Was it every month? Or was it every week? No, it was every month. At the monthly Rotary meetings, where I was like the guest of honor every time. And I just basically like updated them on my time in Japan, like what I was doing and how my Japanese was coming along. And making speeches really also helped me. Like I said, my camera was gonna die. Okay. Be back though. Where should I look? I need to look there. What was I saying? Speeches, meeting, parties. Yeah, so making speeches really helped me like get over. I didn't really have a fear of public speaking because I did a lot of public speaking. But they will make you make speeches. So be prepared for that. But with my host brother, who was like the shyest person ever, could make speeches. Like, you can make speeches. Like, oh my gosh. Because he went to America. Parties. Oh my gosh. At the Christmas party, I got so many gifts. People were just lined up to give me gifts. Like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. But I was like, thank you so much. Some people would like unwrap them and be like, this is what I got you. Look at it. Do you like it? And I was like, yeah, I do. Thank you. But oh my gosh, it was so fun. And you also have to make speeches at the parties too. And sometimes like I didn't even know what to say because they were like, it was like on the spot. And they were like, we would like to hear a few words from our exchange student, Sonia. And I was like, excuse me, what? I wasn't prepared. But I always came up with something, And yes, it was all in Japanese, no English. Okay. And also meeting other exchange students, that was fun. A fun time we're still in the high school realm right now. What was sad though, like my district was kind of small and it only had like 4 Americans, and other districts had people from like all over the world, and it's like, it's not fair. I wanted to meet like people, but we did get to meet like more international students at like the bigger meetings, and I'm still friends and still talk. I still talk to Uku. Shout out to Uku. Hi, Uku. Yeah, he is from Korea, and we're friends now, and he still talks to me. It's ironic because, like, the Americans don't really talk to me anymore, but he's actually the only one, and, like, my host sister. But, oh, yeah, and we got a monthly allowance of ichiman-en, or $100, which was very cool. Funded my karaoke excursions, so yeah, and it'll vary based on your Rotary Club and district, whatever. Okay, going to JCNU now. There were also field trips and like the community activities, like I was saying, and like parties, meeting the Japanese college students, but this one girl got like a boyfriend out of it, which was cool, but I got a broken heart. I'm joking. I don't know. I mean, at least I have my first date in Japan, right? Right? Okay. He wore sweatpants, okay? Dirty sweatpants and a sweater. I was looking so good. But I was sick. So I had like my little panda mask on. Okay. Anyway. Moving on. Okay, we're coming to the conclusion. Finally. Which one do I suggest to you? You need to have money. Which is so like money for either. JCMU is definitely more expensive. The college one, and then high school. less expensive. The high school is more immersive, the high school experience. RYE, oh my gosh, it was like Rotary, JCMU, okay? Do you understand? I prefer Rotary over JCMU any day. But they were both two different experiences, and I'm glad I had both. But you will, if you work hard, okay, you will become fluent if you force yourself to, like, not speak English when you're around, like, Japanese people. And, like, when me and my American, like, exchange friends were hanging out with Japanese people, we would speak in Japanese. 'Cause, like, that would be rude if we were just, like, speaking in English and they were like, I don't understand. But, yeah, you have to, like, force yourself. And it's hard. I know it's hard. And it's embarrassing. Okay, it was embarrassing for me, too. But you can do it. Okay? And, like, someone with my, like, outgoing personality, it's more, like, easy. But going back to my host brother, okay, his English is so good now, but he was, like, so shy boy. Okay, he still is, okay. I haven't seen him in a year, but, you know, he, like, I was so proud of him, so amazed, because, like, and comparing, like, his English when he came back to, like, other people's English, his was, like, so much better, and it's because he worked hard. I know he worked hard, because he wrote me a letter telling me that he wanted to work hard like me. I'm his muse, I guess. But if he can do it, you can do it. And we have, like, very different personalities, but, like, wow. Wow, yeah. But, the immersive experience, that's what it's about, okay? JCMU is not immersive unless you make it immersive. And the only way you could really do that is by joining a club, because it's so tempting to just, like, cling to your, like, American buddies, you know, but don't do that. Yeah, you won't become fluent unless you isolate yourself from English speakers and force yourself into situations where you can only speak the Japanese language to communicate with people. Okay, going back to Rotary, you create long-lasting relationships that I still have to this day with my Japanese high school friends. Like, we still text, and, like, when I go to Japan, we hang out. You know? And I see my host families every time when I go. I write them letters, they write me letters. Sometimes we send each other stuff. But it's because I put in the effort, okay? Some people don't put in the effort, and they just kind of, like, go back into their original lifestyle or whatever and just kind of, like, forget about those people. But I'm like, no, that's where I'm supposed to be. I need to, like, keep this connection, and I have. It's great. Like I said, I made, like, one Japanese friend at JCMU. She was cool. We went to karaoke together, and we went to a festival. Was that the same day? Yeah. But she was really sweet, and I'll probably, if I'm in the area again, I'll definitely hit her up, but I don't know. So, like, conclusion. RYE? No physical credits to, like, prove that you did this and that. But you gain actual ability. Like, actual Japanese language ability. Yay! JCMU, you gain credits that go on your transcript for college, but most likely no confident ability in the Japanese language at all. Okay? Unless you do the things that I tell you, okay? But yeah, that's pretty much it. This was such a good idea. And, like, Cheshire Cat has, like, so many more ideas. You'll be seeing this more than once a month, okay? Sorry. That's it, you guys. So just think about it. Talk about it with your parents. Oh, look! Rotary. You see that? I got a little banner. I actually have two. There's one over there. Anyway, yeah. I'll be seeing you soon, okay? Okay. Bye!